We asked you to decide what this video would be, and here is what you chose. Welcome to Crocs in the Kitchen.
I'm Jessica.
And I am Brian.
Today we decided to ask our Instagram followers what video we should record. We had two choices. One of them was popcorn, which probably would have taken, 20 minutes to film?
Yeah, it would have been easy.
And then the other choice was the black bean comparison video, which ended up taking about
3 hours-ish
to film. So most people on a Tuesday night would say, let's go with the one that takes 20 minutes, but we're not most people. So we asked you to pick, and you picked black beans.
Yes, and if you would like to actually be a part of our next poll, you can always find us on Instagram at Crocs in the Kitchen.
That's Crocs with a K.
Crocs with a K. But those of you that voted for black beans unknowingly voted for the Black Bean Throwdown. Yes, the Black Bean Throwdown. We have always wondered whether or not beans from dry taste better than beans from a can, and we just felt that this was a great way to have 3 different types of beans go head to head.
Yeah, and even with the dry beans, we've always wondered, if you get the more expensive, fancy ones, do they actually taste any better than the plain old ones you buy at Aldi? So that is what we decided to do.
So without further ado, let's get to the throwdown. So the first challenger we have is a can of no salt added beans from 365, which is Whole Foods brand. It cost 79 cents for 15 ounces and is a staple in the Crocs kitchen.
Up next, we have the Aldi black beans. I bought this 32-ounce bag for just $2.39. They are just the standard, everyday, average ones you would buy at Aldi.
And finally, on the high end of the price point, we have Rancho Gordo, which we picked up for $8.99.
Wow.
We overpaid a little.
You can actually buy these for $5.95 on their website for a 16-ounce bag, but we paid $8.99 because we're idiots.
Yes, but this comes in a 16-ounce bag and is supposedly top-notch beans.
So the first step was to weigh out and rinse the beans. So we decided to go with 8 ounces of each of the dry beans, just so we had a decent amount to cook in the Instant Pot. And we measured those out with our scale, and of course we measured them to the exact number, as we always do.
We are precise. After they were weighed out, we rinsed them thoroughly. Of course, you want to rinse your beans to remove any dust or particles that are on there, or just to check to see if there are any rocks that happen to be in the bags of beans. And of course, we also rinsed the can of black beans as well. So they were squeaky clean and ready to go.
Squeaky like peas?
So after the can of beans was rinsed, it was just set aside. There was nothing left to do for it. The other dry beans, though, needed to be cooked, so we went to our trusty pressure cooker extraordinaire, the Instant Pot. We put in exactly the 8 ounces of beans and exactly 2 inches of water over those beans.
After we measured the 2 inches of water above the black beans, we put the pressure cooker on high for 25 minutes, and don't forget to put your vent to ceiling, and then the pressure will start to build up.
After the 25 minutes are up, you can see that these beans turned out very, very nice and steamy.
The only difference I really noticed at first glance was the Rancho Gordo ones just seemed a bit darker and richer in color.
After that, we strained the water off and put them into bowls ready to be tested. Well, there you have it. A few short hours later, and we have cooked beans ready to be tasted.
Yes, let's start with the canned beans, these are the ones we normally put in our salad like pretty much every day. So we did heat them up a little bit.
You ready? Mm-hmm. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
We normally don't just eat beans straight though, so let's just go for it. Here we go. Mm-hmm. They taste like black beans. Mm. Mm-hmm. Anything else to add? They're okay.
They're okay. I mean, they're not like
super great. They're beans. But they're good for what they are.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. When we eat them in our salad, you don't really,
They're more so a texture than a taste.
Yeah, they're just sort of in there, and you don't really taste it. So it's interesting just to taste them by themselves.
Yeah.
Up next, we have the beans that I bought at Aldi for $2.39 for a 32-ounce bag. So let's see how those compare, because these are definitely the cheapest.
Mm-hmm. They definitely look different. Those are all kind of shiny and stuff and look really clean. These look like, I don't know, they don't look as good as the canned beans do.
Yeah, they don't look as pretty, but I think it's just because we've cooked them ourselves.
But they do taste better. Mm-hmm. Those have more of a, kind of like a buttery flavor to them, actually. Yeah. That's really nice. They're soft, they're creamy. They kind of dissolve a little bit when you chew them, and that's really nice. Like, those have a bit more, like, I don't know, texture to them maybe, but these have way better flavor. I like it.
You can definitely tell the difference. The one thing that I've always found weird when you cook the dry beans, which we haven't done a whole ton of, we're just starting to experiment more in our Instant Pot, is that it's hard to get them at the perfect, consistency. So it's hard to not overcook them or undercook them, and that's why I think the canned ones are just so convenient.
Yeah.
But those definitely taste better, and with the money you can save, I don't know.
Makes sense.
I'm really excited to try the Rancho Gordo beans.
So for those of you who don't know, Rancho Gordo is a company that was founded by a guy named Steve. And Steve had just decided to start growing tomatoes. And then he switched over to growing heirloom beans. And the heirloom beans are just strains of beans that he happens to find in different places and grows them, cultivates them, and then sells them out at market. And supposedly these heirloom beans, which aren't of the standard grown variety that you can normally buy, like in the cans, are better with flavor, more depth of flavor, and are generally just considered to be the superior bean to the rest of them. So I'm really looking forward to trying this one.
We actually purchased these specific beans, like we said, for $8.99 a bag at a store in Kansas City that when we were traveling. We had heard of the Rancho Gordo beans before, and we wanted to get a kind that we could easily compare to other beans. So they have a lot of different fancy varieties that you've never heard of before, and we definitely want to try some of those out and see how they taste. But for our first one, we were just like, okay, let's get the most basic black bean that we can just compare to the black beans that we eat almost every day.
Something we use all the time. So let's get to it.
They definitely look darker, like I said earlier.
They're certainly darker. They look like they've sort of held their shape a little bit better. Mm-hmm. All in all, very good. At least they look good to me. You ready? Mm-hmm. Let's do it. Interesting. I like them. Mm-hmm. Those are actually really good. I mean, I'm not going to say there's like some vastly huge difference in flavor, but...
No, but there's a richer flavor to these. Like, yeah. They just have, the other ones are like just standard kind of bland beans, but these are, there's something else there.
Yeah. There is more depth of flavor. But the problem that I'm having is the cost of the beans still. Because like for quite a bit more, and even if you just buy them online, for quite a bit more, you get a superior product but I'm not sure it's superior enough to justify this cost.
Yeah, but they're definitely good, and it definitely makes me want to try some of their other beans.
Yeah, I'd love to see
how
what some of the other beans are that they have, just to see what the flavors are.
Because a lot of their other ones are ones that you just can't get anywhere else. So,
No. Yeah.
But let's go to my wonderful math that I've done.
She spent a good while actually working on this.
I've been working on some math here. So I actually love math. But I've been working on some math. So I wanted to find out, how do the prices compare? Because obviously we can say this one we paid $8.99 for it. You would only buy it, if you're smart, not like us, you would only buy it for $5.95 on their website. These were $2.39 for a 32-ounce bag. So this was only 16 ounces. So about $6 for half the amount of this, which is $2.39 for 32 ounces. And this is a 15-ounce can that costs 79 cents. So at first glance, you might be like, oh, wow, these ones are the cheapest. But when you actually do the math, so what we did was we converted how many dry beans would actually make a 15-ounce can of the cooked beans. And so from all of my research, it seems like about 4 ounces is a good consistent number of how many dry beans it would take to make this 15-ounce can of cooked beans. So when I took all those numbers and compared them, it ended up being like this. So starting with the canned beans, they are about 19.8 cents per ounce, and that's based on them in their dry state versus the cooked state that they're actually in. So this one we had to convert. So 19.8 cents per ounce. The Aldi beans were only 7.5 cents per ounce of dry beans. And then the Rancho Gordo, the price that we paid, it would have been 56 cents per ounce. But if you bought them on their website for $5.95 a bag, instead of the marked up price we paid, it would actually be 37.2 cents per ounce of dry beans. So you can tell there's a big difference.
Huge difference.
So the difference, I calculated kind of like what the difference between them all is as well. So these canned beans are about 2.5 times more than the Aldi beans, and the Rancho Gordo beans are about 5 times more than the Aldi beans. So that kind of just, if you're looking at cost over time, we eat a lot of black beans. Is there money to be saved? Definitely.
But how would you rank these, Jessica?
I think we need a graph to map this all out. I think we should rank them on 3 different categories: taste, price, and convenience. So I will go first on taste. I think the Rancho Gordo ones taste the best, hands down. I think that the Aldi ones taste the second, and then the canned ones were third for me.
Yep, I will absolutely agree with that.
Okay. Now, as far as price goes, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, obviously, the Aldi bag of beans is the cheapest per ounce, so I've got to go with that one as the number one.
Yes. Let us know, where do you buy your beans? Do you buy canned? Do you buy dry? If you buy dry, do you buy them in giant bulk bags, or how do you buy your beans? I'm very curious to know this.
And then for convenience, I would have to say that the can of beans is obviously the most convenient, because you just open it up, pour it out, do whatever you need to do with it. But this just leads us back into the circle again of which one is the best, because each one of them takes a different category.
This one won taste. Rancho Gordo won the taste category. Aldi won the price category, and the can won the convenience.
Yes.
So I guess which one you use is how do you value those things. And I think for me it's a toss-up between valuing cost and convenience. So there are some days when I just want to go home and open a can of beans and rinse it and be done. But the Instant Pot being, such a quick tool as well.
Yeah. I would say that for me personally, I'm picking this one as the winner. And for a very simple reason. It is the cheapest, and it still tastes better than that. And so for taste and cost sake, I'm picking this one. And in reality, we're probably going to go with these two later on in the future anyway.
Yeah.
We'll have these just in case we ever need any extras, but we will probably start making these like on the weekends when we do our normal salad prep. So all in all these black beans are my choice, my winner for this Black Bean Throwdown.
I think this is a first for us. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you have any other comments, let us know. If you have any other tips for us, we love to read your feedback. We love learning so much from you guys who've been doing this a lot longer than us in most cases. Also, you can follow us on social media. Like we said earlier, we do pull our Instagram crowd for ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, go check out the Instagram. Jessica is constantly posting photos and things to the story and all of that. I don't even know what the story is, but she keeps posting to it. So it's gotta be good. That's all I know.
Yes, we also have a Facebook page. We are on Pinterest and Twitter as well. So find us on all of those. The links are all in the description below.
Yeah.
And you can also check out the blog post that I do for every single video, which has more information, links, and resources.
Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell that is right next to it to get all the updates whenever we post a new video. And yeah, it would really help us out. But that's all I got.
That's all I got.
We will see you next time on Crocs in the Kitchen. Bye-bye.
Bye.